Hey everybody, what's going on? I just got a little bit of news and thought I would share it. Also, they are still working on the building. I can't fathom what's still being done up there. What's still being done up there that's not fixed? They must have taken this whole job on an hourly basis because there's nothing up there that could be taking that long. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the news I've been given. Why do I have an XP boost? Where did I get this? Oh, it must have been from finishing. Yeah, okay, I did that. Sorry. Two pieces of news that I have to deliver here. One, there is a 10x event dropping tomorrow with Queen Eva. Now, I say this every time there's a 10x event. Inevitably, one of you is going to go down in the comments and argue with me about this. I'm telling you, you're wrong. I'm right on this. You don't have a 10 times chance of pulling her. I want to make sure that everybody understands how a 10x works, and I'm going to say it every time I talk about a 10x event because the way that they present 10x events are misleading. If you go in and read the print, it explains it, so the information's there. They're not being totally dishonest, but it's presented very sparkly and glowy and 10x chance for Eva, and I don't want you to misunderstand. Your rates for your shards, I'm all over the place here. Your rates for your shards are not going to change, okay? You're still going to have 0.5% chance from Ancient. You're still going to have 6% chance from Sacred. Nothing's changing there, okay? You are still just as likely to pull a Legendary as you ever were. They do not tie these 10x events with 2x events, okay? So understand, if you've got a bunch of shards saved, don't be under the impression that you're blowing them for something like a 2x event, okay? It's 10x chance to pull Eva if you pull a Legendary. So it is very possible that you'll burn through 100, 200 shards and not pull a Legendary, okay? It happens. It happens a lot. If you pull a Legendary, then you have a 10 times chance of getting Queen Eva. Now, I don't know if it's both Ancients and Sacreds. I can't remember when they do. It's been a while since I've really paid attention to a 10x. I don't remember if it's 10x from Ancients or 10x from Sacreds, and there was no specification in the information we were given, so I don't know which shard it is, but be sure that you know which shard it is if it's not both. Be sure that you look at that. But you're just as likely to pull a Legendary. If you happen to pull a Legendary, then the odds of getting Queen Eva are 10 times higher. That still does not mean you're guaranteed Queen Eva, okay? I think we've all learned by now, and I won't get into specifics, but we know what I'm talking about here. We know that pulling Legendaries during 10x does not guarantee you that Legendary, okay? So, Queen Eva's great. She's an excellent farmer, best campaign farmer in the game, right? As far as being easy to build and being efficient. She is who I use as my campaign farmer. It's really all I use her for. But she doesn't need to look crazy to be a campaign farmer, right? She could do it with less than this. She's really good. Like, it's not that she's not good. I'm not telling you not to participate. I'm not telling you to use your shards. I'm not telling you to not try to get her. I just want to make sure that you understand. I know I imagine that we have new faces here every time a 10x comes out. So I just want to be sure I cover it, right? So I know that a lot of you already know this, and I know that some of you might even be sick of hearing me say this. But I just feel like I have to say it every time because the way it's presented, especially if you don't know how Plarium works, if you don't know how things usually happen in this game, it looks like you legitimately have a 10x chance from default to get Queen Eva, and that is not the way it works. So your shard rates are the same. Be aware of that. The other thing that is dropping tomorrow, the other event that we're getting tomorrow, is they are dropping a new fusion for St. Patrick's Day, and it is going to be Homeboy right here. Now, Cillian the Lucky, he was the surprise Legendary. If you saw my video yesterday, one of the things that I talked about was that they kind of dropped a surprise Legendary on us. We didn't know this guy was coming. He just kind of popped up in the update with his old lance. Is that what that's called? A lance? His the old thing that he's got. He's going to be the fusion. I have been given no details about the fusion. I'll read you the sentence that I have about the fusion. New fusion dedicated to St. Patrick's Day with a champion, Cillian the Lucky. It's a new legendary Bannerlord. You can share this info with your subscribers. That is the information we were given. We just know that the fusion's dropping. We tried to pick for a little bit more info, and the only thing we could get was, I'm told that it's going to be easier than the Rotos fusion, which doesn't mean much, honestly. It doesn't mean it's going to be doable. We will see. We will see what happens with it. Historically, they're not good at this. So, for the people that are spending money, it's going to be fine. For the people that are not, it more than likely will not be fine if you have not been preparing for a fusion, right? Especially if you blew your load on trying to get Rotos. You probably will not be able, but who knows? We will see. We will see what happens, right? Real quick, take another look at him for anybody that didn't see my video yesterday, just so you can get an idea of what's coming up in the fusion. He's got an A1. It's a 2-hitter with a chance to place a speed buff and some turn meter steal. Now, that's pretty cool little A1. It's quite a bit going on. It certainly has its utility. I talked about him being decent in Fire Knight, and the issue with that is that he's magic, as is the other guy. They really go heavy putting out magic champions, and I don't really know why. I don't know why they're so prone to putting out magic champs. Now, just because he's magic doesn't automatically mean he can't be used in Fire Knight. Allure is also magic, and she's very useful. Granted, her kit's a little different. It's a little bit, easier to make her useful because of the way her kit is set up. But it doesn't automatically mean, but it means he's going to be a lot less effective, right? So I don't know what the appeal is to putting out magic champs, but I think we all feel like the game is way magic champ heavy. They really need to chill out on the magic champs, but he's here. There's nothing we can do about it. He's here. So that's his first skill. Second skill has a potential to put 4-turn block cooldown with masteries 5 turns, and then has a 35% chance to do it to all other enemies for 1 turn, 2 turns potentially with masteries. That's kind of crazy, and you can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown, which means for the target you're focusing, it can basically be permanent, and everybody else is going to get a small window to use their skills. So this one could be a problem. This one could be pretty useful in a lot of different ways, right? It could be helpful in faction wars to lock down those enemies. It could be aggravating in arena with the right comp around him. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting skill. That's a long time. That's a long time to be putting block cooldown skills. A3 attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of stunning for 1 turn, 25% chance of stunning for 2 turns instead, and stealing 50% of the target's current turn meter. Resets the cooldown of the skill if it kills someone. Again, another pretty handy skill. Can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown. Could be pretty useful in arena for fights that are kind of designed to last a little bit longer. Or, if you need to lock down a reviver or a cleanser or something along those lines. Could be pretty useful there. He's got good cooldowns. I'll give him that. He's got good cooldowns for his kit. And then he's got a passive at the beginning of each of his turns. He puts increase attack, increase crit damage, increase crit rate, strengthen, or block damage on himself for 2 turns. So he's basically going to keep himself permanently buffed in one way or another, and it's a pretty interesting array of buffs, so it could be a fun one. Could be a fun one to play around with. RNG and arena can be fun, depending on what kind of fight you're going for. And then he does have the 25% attack lead, so he's an interesting little dude. Could be fun to get. I would say probably don't blow don't blow everything trying to get this dude. If you're saving up for a fusion, I think this is probably not the one that you want to blow it on. There are probably going to be better options for fusions coming out not too far from now. They like to do fusions kind of frequently anyway. So if you want to go for it, go for it. If you're wondering whether or not this is one you should blow everything you've been saving on, I would say no. I would say he's not the guy for that. So, do whatever you like. If you're spending, if you're a spender, it's not a big deal to you anyway. So, so do your thing. We'll see what the fusion looks like. It's dropping tomorrow, as is the 10x Queen Eva event. So there's some interesting stuff going on. But it's probably just going to look like a lot of the same. My big point of this was really to announce it and to make sure that any new faces here understand what a 10X event really is. And that's it. So hopefully somebody learned something here, or you got a kick out of it to some extent. Maybe I helped you answer a question about whether or not you should go for the Fusion in advance. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about Queen Eva being the candidate for a 10X event. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like we're kind of beyond needing her, since it's so easy to make, like, Saurus, or, if you have a Bellower? There's a couple of other options people have found to make good farmers now. Do you feel like we're beyond needing a Queen Eva 10X, or do you think it'll be good to have her? And then how do you feel about the new Sealing the Lucky? How do you feel about the Fusion? What you guys thinking about it? That's what I want to know. So that's it. I'll be getting I'll be getting a Try Something New Thursday up soon, if it's not already up. Playing some Brawl Stars, which is actually way more fun than I thought it was going to be. So check that out if you feel like it. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.